Junie B., first grader. Turkeys we have loved and eaten, and other thankful stuff. Written by Barbara Park. Chapter 9. Socks and Other Surprises. Wednesday. Dear First Grade Journal. Today is the day for the Thanksgiving feast in Room 1. All of the children had to dress up like pilgrims or Native Americans at the first Thanksgiving. And so that is how come I told Mother, "Do not make me a pilgrim costume, and I mean it." I could not have been louder, by the way. Only what do you know? Mother says she forgot I told her that. Plus also, she gave the costume job to my grandma Helen Miller. And so, big surprise, this morning Helen brought the costume to my house. And oh no, it was a stupid pilgrim dress. I did a shriek at that thing. Then I ran down the hall and out the back door, and I hid behind the trash can next to the steps. But Mother found me speedy fast, and then me and her had a little tussle. And what do you know? Now I am sitting in my chair at school, and I am wearing a stupid pilgrim dress. This is the worstest day of my entire school career. Your friend, Junie B., I do not want to be a pilgrim, and I mean it. I slumped in my seat, real glum. Then, bam! The morning got even worse. On account of May came running into the room, and she was dressed like a Native American Indian girl. And that is what I wanted to be. I slumped lower in my chair. May hurried down our row, and she poked me in the arm. "Hello, Junie Jones, hello," she said. "Look at the Thanksgiving costume my mother made for me. I am a Native American Indian girl." She poked me again. "Look how great this costume is. Look at the fringe on the bottom of my dress. Look at the beads around the collar. Look at my cute moccasins. Look at the long braid in my hair." I turned my face away from her. "Look at the back of my head," I said. May ran around in front of me. "Guess what my name is, Junie Jones? My name is Chief May, Chief of Everybody, and I will be bossing around the Native Americans at the feast today. Plus, I will be bossing around the pilgrims, too." After that, she looked me over. Let's see. "It looks like you are a little pilgrim girl," she said. "A little pilgrim girl is not the chief of anyone, is she? A little pilgrim girl is just a girl." She did a smirk. "What is your name, little pilgrim girl?" she asked. "Do you have a name?" I made squinty eyes at her. "My name is Get Out of My Face, Chief Nutball," I said back. I do not know where I came up with that great name. These things just come to me. May frowned her eyebrows. "I think your name is Pilgrim Grouchy," she said. After that, she swung her long braid in my face, and she sat down in her seat. Just then, Mr. Scary came hurrying into the room. He had been talking to someone in the hall. His face beamed at our costumes. "Boys and girls, you look so great in your Thanksgiving outfits," he said. "We are going to have the best time with our families today." He held up one finger. "And don't forget, today the office is going to announce who won the thankful contest." I did a loud groan. "Great," I grouched. "I'm already hottish and sweatish. Now all I need to do is win a pie and vomit." Suddenly, a loud noise interrupted my grouching. Tap, 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 tap. It was coming from the hall outside room 1. All of the children ran to see. And whoa! It was Principal. And he was hammering a nail in our door with his shoe. All of our mouths came open at that sight. I cannot believe my eyeballs, I said, real shocked. If I nailed a hole in our door, I would get sent to Principal's office. I looked at Mr. Scary. You know that's true, by the way, I said. I have been sent for way less than that. Sheldon raised his hand. How come you're doing that, Principal? He asked. How come you're nailing a hole in our door with your shoe? Just then, his eyes glanced down at Principal's sock foot. Whoa, what kind of socks do you have on there? He asked, real curious. Sheldon quick got on his hands and knees and looked closer. He raised his eyebrows. Are those knee socks? He said. My grandpa Ned Potts wears knee socks. I got on my hands and knees too. My grandpa Frank Miller wears those kind of socks too, I said. We call them old man socks. Principal's face looked embarrassed at us. He said to please get away from his sock foot. Then he quick put his shoe back on. After that, he did a deep breath to settle down. Then, surprise, surprise, he reached into his pocket and he pulled out a giant blue ribbon and he hung it right on the doornail. Congratulations to you, Room 1, he said, real happy. You won first place in this year's Thankful contest. All of Room 1 stood very still for a minute. That is called we were in a daze, I believe. Then, boom! We jumped and clapped and danced and yelled. We won! We won! We won! We yelled. Mr. Scary's face looked thrilled at us. I knew you could do it, he said. I told you that you were a special group. Me and Herbert linked our arms together, and we skipped in a happy circle. We won, Junie B, hollered Herb. We won a giant first-place blue ribbon and a big pumpkin pie. Then screech! All of our skipping came to a stop. 'Cause we remembered the vomit part, that's why. Herb and I looked sickish at each other. Then all of the other children looked sickish too. Oh no, we said. Pumpkin pie. We have to eat pumpkin pie. But then, good old Lenny came to the rescue. 'Cause he already had the whole thing figured out. Don't worry, everyone. I've got a plan, he said, very excited. He pointed to the back of the room. We've got a giant cleanup sink back there, remember? He said. All of us looked at the cleanup sink. So? We said. Lenny grinned. So, if anyone makes us eat pie, we'll just put it in our mouths, then run to the cleanup sink and quick spit it out, he said. All of Room 1 thought for a second. Then, whew, a big breath of relief whooshed right out of us. 'Cause spitting pie in the cleanup sink is a genius, of course. We started smiling again. Hooray for Lenny! That guy thinks of everything. Chapter 10. Naming Stuff. All of us skipped back to our seats. Principal walked to the front of the room, and he saw our thankful list on the board. We had added more stuff on Tuesday afternoon, So now it was 20 whole items long. Principal read the list out loud. 1. Cranberry jelly in a can. 2. Exploding biscuits. 3. Nipsey doodles. 4. Rainbow sprinkles. 5. Toilet paper. 6. Money. 7. Philip Johnny Bob. 8. Police Sergeant Chuck. 9. Sausages. 10. Stinky. 11. Good old Larry from last year. 12. Cookies, but not the coconut kind. 13. Jose's remote control. 14. Lightning bugs. 15. The big box of 64 crayons. 16. Penguins. 17. Lenny's washcloth puppet. 18. Whipped cream that Roger accidentally squirted in his mouth before school. 19. Nasal spray. 20. The Cartoon Network. After he finished reading, Principal smiled real big. Boys and girls, this is the most honest list we have ever had in the school contest, he said. Thank you for telling us what children are really thankful for. Lenny turned around and looked at May. Then he did a big smirk. Nipsey doodles rule, he said. May turned his head back around. Just then, we heard feet in the hallway. And yay, yay, hooray! Our favorite janitor came through the door. Gus Valany! It's Gus Valany! I shouted, real thrilled. Gus Valany is the nicest janitor in the whole entire world. He was pushing a cart with a table and folding chairs on it. I jumped up so he could see me. Gus Valany, it's me, it's Junie B. Jones, I yelled. Did you hear we won the thankful contest? Did you see the blue ribbon on our door? I hurried to the front of the room. What do you have there, Gus Valany? Is that folding chairs for our feast today? 'Cause maybe I could help you with them. Gus Valany did a chuckle at me. Well, Junie B. Jones, don't you look nice today, he said. You're all dressed up like a pilgrim girl. I nodded. Yes, I know, I said. At first, I did not want to be a pilgrim girl. And so me and Mother had a tussle behind the trash can. Only now I am hardly even sweaty. Plus also, I can spit pie in the cleanup sink, and so my whole entire mood got better. Gus Valany looked confused at me. Principal looked confused too. Mr. Scary walked me back to my seat, and he said for me to please stay put. After that, Principal helped Gus Valany and Mr. Scary set up the table and chairs. And wait till you hear this. All of our guests had signed up to bring the feast food, so room 1 didn't have to make a thing. I tapped on my friend Herbert. What kind of food is your mother bringing? I asked. My mother and my Grandma Miller are bringing cranberry jelly. Herbert turned around. My mother has to work today, but my grandmother is bringing carrot sticks. Oh boy, I said. I love carrot sticks. Lenny grinned. Me too, he said. My grandmother is coming to the feast, but she's a terrible cook, so I signed her up for napkins. Sheldon heard us talking. My Uncle Vern is coming with my Grandpa Ned Potts, and they're bringing tater tots, he said. I did a gasp at that delicious news. Yummy, yum, yum, I said. Tater tots. May threw her head back. Pilgrims and Indians did not eat tater tots, she said, real annoyed. My mother is bringing the real kind of food that they ate at the first Thanksgiving. She stood up at her desk, and she swung her long braid again. My mother is bringing squash and beans and stewed onions, she said, real proud. After that, room 1 got very quiet. We were thinking about stewed onions, I believe. Then, one by one, we all turned around, and we looked at the clean-up sink again. I glanced at Lenny. That sink is going to get a real workout today, I said. Just then, we heard more footsteps in the hall. And yippee, yippee! Our first Thanksgiving guest was here. It was Lucille's Richie Nana, and she brought her real, actual chef guy with her. The chef guy was wearing a tall white hat and a long apron. It was all the way to his knees almost. Also, he was carrying a giant silver tray with a shiny lid on the top. He put the tray on the feast table, and he pulled off the lid. And wowie, wow, wow! It was the giantest turkey I ever saw. We ran to the table. Whoa, said Roger. How much does that big boy weigh? How much did it cost? Said Lenny. Can I have the drumstick? Asked Herb. What's his name? Said Sheldon. The Richie Nana started to sputter. Oh dear. Well, let's see. I didn't really shop for it myself, so I don't know what it weighs or what it costs. And, I don't think it has a name, she said. She raised her eyebrows at the chef guy. Does it? She asked. I thought for a second. Then I clapped my hands. I've got an idea. Let's name him Mr. Turkey Pants, I said. Then I laughed, and all of room 1 laughed too. Names are always funnier if you add the word pants on the end of them. My grandpa, Frank Miller, taught me that lesson. Just then, another guest came through the door. It was Herbert's grandmother, and she had a big white bowl full of carrot sticks. Whoa, that is a lot of carrot sticks, madam, I said. Sheldon looked at me and grinned. What's their name, Junie B? He asked. I thought again. Their name is Mr. Crunchy Pants, I said. After that, all of us laughed even more. Mr. Scary said, go back to our seats. Boys and girls, I know it's fun to have our families at our Thanksgiving feast today, but we need to be on our best behavior for them, remember? His eyes zoomed in on me. And Junie B, I'm pretty sure we're finished naming the food, okay? I did a salute. Aye, aye, Captain, I said. I am a hoot. Just then I turned my head, and I saw my mother come in with Grandma Helen Miller. And yippee! My grandpa Frank Miller came too. They put a big bowl of jiggly cranberry jelly on the table. Hey, look! It's Mr. Jiggle Pants, I shouted. Mr. Scary did a frown at me. Mother and Grandma Miller frowned too. Grandpa laughed real loud. Then Grandma poked him with her elbow. I slid way down in my chair. Oops, I said. Sorry. Then I covered my mouth with my hand. And I didn't name food for the rest of the day.